welcome back. Another beautiful day to work on the bathroom. It's a Friday, and this weekend my whole goal is to get this door pulled out and at least the frame of the new door put in here in the right spot. Maybe even get the door hung. We'll see. I have some more electrical to do. I didn't finish up what I was doing here, but that's good. A couple hours here, a couple hours there kind of work. This door opening obviously is a little bit more involved and a little bit bigger endeavor, and it involves the first construction bleeding from the bathroom into our bedroom, which is kind of a problem because, well, we live in here and we don't want dust everywhere. So I'm going to put up a plastic barrier, and I've got a couple extension poles and stuff. We've done this a time or two in the past, so I'm pretty familiar with what needs to be done here. It's just going to be kind of a pain to do it by myself, but that's okay. I will get it done. Yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to wall this off, and then tonight I'm going to try and at least get all this stripped, maybe the whole opening cut. Not sure. I'm already starting to spiral a little bit, thinking about future problems, because I'm realizing, the flooring likely does not go under this bottom plate. And so we're going to have kind of a big gap to deal with. I did not save this hardwood, so we're not patching it in. Maybe I should have, because I could have patched in some of it, but too late. Ship has sailed. Anyhow, stay on focus, Evan. I'm going to try and keep myself on track. I'm also going to grab the door that I do have that's going to go in here and triple check the size so that I make this hole the right size. Yeah, all right, enough talking. Then I'll go check the door before I tear into this and start doing some demo. Okay, I've had these zipper things for years now, and I never actually ended up using them, so I'm trying it out today. You're supposed to put two of them so you have like a flap to roll up, but this isn't that serious. I just need access in and out. And I'm noticing the first problem already in here is it is so hot. Oh my gosh. That's a problem. I'm going to unplug this AC vent, try and get a little bit of air in here. And then I also need to tape around the top quick, and then that'll be good and time to start tearing into it. All right, I've got this plastic all put up here. I think it's time to tear into it. So I think first things first, I'm going to pop this door off. I don't know if it has pins, and take out this light switch because it doesn't do anything anymore anyway. Just start pulling the frame out, measuring. I'm trying to do as least amount of damage to this surface as possible, this painted surface, because it's textured and it's that like old plaster tile stuff that was on the ceiling. So the less I have to mess with this, the better, because I know it's just going to spiral into a bunch of drywall work, and trying to match the texture is going to be a nightmare and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping I can basically get away with just piecing in one new piece of drywall right in here where basically this old opening will be gone. All right, here's the idea. I went and measured the door. I'm confident in the rough opening. I have this existing header, but I don't, as I mentioned, I really don't want to disturb that surface as much as I can, and I'm sure there's a boatload of nails in here attaching it to the header. So I think my plan is I'm going to remove this outer ply of the header. This is a non-load bearing wall, by the way. All the ceiling joists run this way, so nothing is sitting on this wall. Well, here at least, with the exception of kind of where this midspan wall is, that is sitting on it, but undisturbed. Basically, the point is I'm not too concerned about the load that needs to be carried up here on these cripples. So you can see it's floating right now, so there's really not any load. So what I'm going to do is kind of split the difference between a real header and just some framing up there to hold the drywall. So I'm going to pull this outside ply off. I'm going to remove this stud, and then I'm going to cut a piece of this 2x6 to basically extend this part of the header out all the way over to this stud. And then I'll have a jack that'll go right along this edge. This stud is also like wickedly twisted, so that's going to be fun to deal with. But I'll put a straight jack in right here, and that'll catch basically this little piece. Now there's going to be a joint right here in the middle, so that outer ply is not going to be very structural at all. But I went and cut this 2x6, which will span the whole length. I had to pack it out with just some scrap material to get it to the thickness required, so that it, is half the depth. Anyhow, I needed that for thickness, and that's going to be this inner ply that'll span the whole way. So if there is any load, or this wants to settle at all, that inner ply will be solid and will be more than enough to take any of that load. Plus, I'm going to screw all these off nice and tight to each other, so this outer ply will be kind of supported by this inner ply. That's the idea. That way I don't have to remove any of this. All of this can stay, and then I'll just add in another stud about here, I believe, wherever this wall door frame needs to stop. I'll add a stud right there, and then that'll become my new jamb, and this will be my new opening. So it's going to look a little goofy in here with the framing, but I think that's the best way to do it to avoid kind of any, well, as much disruption to that outer surface as I possibly can. That's the goal. So I'm going to cut this jack that I need, which will sit right in here, and then I'll start cutting this stuff out. I know I've got 2 nails there. I might pull those actually. Lop these off, make sure this inner ply here is loose, get my blade in there, zip along here so I can pull that ply off. All right, let's do it.